Are you ready to open the door to fear? Then put on your headphones. I'm Azad, gone Chomchom. Tonight's real story comes from Rayhan.
3 stories, 3 moments, 3 wrong turns that should never have happened. A quiet road that led straight into the hands of something unforgiving. A frozen wilderness where something ancient and hungry was waiting. And a single mistake that changed a life forever. Some dangers don't chase you. They wait for you to step into them. Tonight, you're about to hear what happens when you do.
It had been a year since I first got hooked on games like Hero Wars, but nothing, not even the darkest fantasy, could compare to what happened to me that summer. The worst day of my life began in the most ordinary way. I was driving out to visit my grandfather, who lived somewhere near Omaha, Nebraska. The farther I went, the more civilization seemed to dissolve. Cell signal vanished, my GPS glitched and spun in useless circles. The road signs, if you could even call them that, were rusted, broken, and barely readable. It felt like I was driving off the map. Eventually, I had no choice but to stop at a random house and ask for directions. The man who answered the door looked unsure. Too unsure. He scratched his chin and mentioned an old house somewhere down a dirt road a mile or 2 away. Not easy to find, but you're close, I think. That, I think, should have been my warning. A few minutes later, I spotted a narrow dirt road cutting into the trees like a scar. I turned in hoping this was it. But as I drove deeper, the world grew quiet, unnaturally quiet. No houses, no people, just endless trees pressing in from both sides. I was about to turn back when I saw it, a driveway. It appeared out of nowhere. Relief washed over me. Finally, I thought maybe I had found my grandfather's place. But the moment I pulled in, something felt wrong. There were several men standing together near a van and a car. They weren't laughing. They weren't relaxed. They were tense. The second they noticed me, everything changed. One of them abruptly stepped away. Another scanned the area like he was expecting trouble. The air grew thick, heavy, like I had just walked into something I was never meant to see. That's when it hit me. I hadn't found my grandfather's house. I had found something else. Something dangerous. Still trying to stay calm, I rolled the car forward and stopped. I reached for my map, preparing to ask for directions. But when I looked back up, there was a gun pointed directly at my face. Everything inside me went cold. Not fear, not panic, just emptiness. My brain stopped working. My body refused to move. I just stared at the weapon, waiting for the moment everything would go black, like prey that knows it's already dead. Then, the man holding the gun spoke. "Turn off the engine." My hands trembled as I obeyed. "Get out." I stepped out of the car, my legs barely holding me up. The dirt beneath my feet felt unreal, like I was dreaming. But then, another voice cut through the silence. Cold, sharp, merciless. "It's a cop. Just shoot him." And in that moment, my nightmare truly began. The moment I heard those words, "It's a cop. Just shoot him," something inside me snapped back to life. "I'm not a cop," I blurted out instantly. My voice cracked, shaking uncontrollably. I swear to God, I'm not a cop. I'm just looking for my grandfather's house. Please, please don't shoot me." The words poured out in one desperate breath. I was stuttering, trembling, barely able to stand. My heart felt like it was trying to tear itself out of my chest. But they weren't convinced. "He's lying," another man said, his tone filled with suspicion. "We can't risk the shipment." Shipment. That single word told me everything I needed to know. I hadn't just interrupted a random gathering. I had driven straight into something illegal, something big, and now I was a problem. The man with the gun didn't lower it, not even an inch.
Behind him, another guy stepped forward, holding a weapon that looked like it belonged in a war zone, not something civilians should ever have. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just bad. This was fatal. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. The silence was suffocating. I could feel all of their eyes on me, judging, deciding. I truly believed I was about to die. Then the man with the gun finally spoke again. "Get the tape." At first, those words didn't make sense. Then it hit me. They weren't going to shoot me. Not yet. Strangely, that didn't bring relief. It brought something worse. Uncertainty. Two of them rushed forward and grabbed me. I didn't resist. I couldn't. My body had already accepted that survival depended on obedience. They forced me to my knees in the dirt. Rough hands yanked my arms behind my back, wrapping tape tightly around my wrists, more tape around my ankles, then over my eyes, plunging me into total darkness. The world vanished. All I had left were sounds, boots scraping the ground, car doors opening, low voices arguing. I felt hands patting me down, checking my pockets. Someone went through my car. "Car's clean," one of them said. "No bugs." That chilled me more than anything else. These weren't amateurs. They knew exactly what they were doing. "I told you," I said quickly, my voice trembling. "I can check me. I don't have anything. No badge, no gun, nothing. I'm just a guy who got lost. That's it." Silence. Then I heard something. Paper being handled. My license, I realized. They were passing it around. "You know this guy?" one asked. "No, never seen him." Each answer brought a tiny flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe they'd let me go. But then came the argument. "Just kill him," the same aggressive voice insisted. "Loose ends get people caught." "No," another man snapped back, the one who first pointed the gun at me. His voice was calmer, controlled. "That's stupid. Killing him brings heat." Heat. Police. Attention. I clung to that word like it was oxygen. For a moment, he sounded like my only chance. But the debate dragged on, back and forth, like my life was nothing more than a decision to be made over a casual conversation. And then, everything shifted. A new voice. The leader. Cold. Final. "You know what? He's right. We can't risk it." "No, please," I shouted, panic flooding through me. "I won't say anything, I swear. I didn't see anything. I'll just leave. I'll forget all of this ever happened, I promise." I was begging now, completely broken. But it didn't matter. I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. Then, the unmistakable sound of a gun being handled. A click. And suddenly, I felt something press against the back of my head. Cold, unforgiving, real. Tears streamed down beneath the tape covering my eyes. My whole body shook violently. This was it. This was how it ended. Not in a hospital bed, not surrounded by family, but on my knees in the dirt, because I took the wrong turn. The last thing I heard the man say was, "Start digging a hole." I screamed, pleaded, begged, and then... That sound didn't just echo in my ears, it shattered something inside me. I froze completely. Every muscle in my body locked. I was waiting for the explosion, the pain, the darkness. But it never came. No gunshot, no impact, just silence. For a few long, unbearable seconds, I stayed there, kneeling in the dirt, trembling, unable to breathe properly. And then, they started laughing. At first, it was low, almost controlled. Then louder. Then all of them. Laughing. Not normal laughter, not relief, but something twisted, cruel, inhuman. It took me a moment to understand. The gun wasn't loaded. It was a trick, a sick, deliberate psychological torture. They had just staged my execution for fun. My body collapsed forward slightly as the tension drained out of me, replaced instantly by humiliation, terror, and something far worse: helplessness. Warm liquid ran down my leg. I didn't need to check to know what it was. I had completely lost control. And they loved it. "Look at him," one of them said between laughs. "Man was ready to meet God," another added. Their voices carved into my mind like knives. Then suddenly, I felt someone step close behind me. Too close. I could feel his breath on the back of my neck, slow, steady. The leader. His voice dropped to a whisper. "Listen carefully." I didn't move. I didn't speak. I barely even breathed. "We're keeping your license." My heart skipped. "Anything happens, anything at all," he continued, his tone ice cold, "we'll know where to find you." A pause. Then the final threat. "Next time, there will be a bullet in the chamber." My entire body went numb. This wasn't over. It would never be over. They weren't just letting me go, they were marking me. Like prey, like something they could come back for whenever they wanted. Suddenly, rough hands grabbed me again. I was dragged across the dirt and thrown into the back seat of a car. The engine roared to life. For a few seconds, I felt movement, turns, bumps, gravel crunching beneath the tires. Then, the car stopped. Doors opened, closed. Engines faded into the distance. And just like that, they were gone. I was alone, still blindfolded, still tied up, still shaking. Time lost all meaning after that. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like days. The darkness behind the tape became suffocating. My throat dried out. My body ached from the position I was stuck in. Every distant sound made me flinch. Every gust of wind felt like someone returning. I was sure, at any moment, they would come back. And this time, they wouldn't be joking.
I don't know how long I stayed like that. It felt endless. My body stiff, my throat burning for thirst, my mind spiraling deeper into fear with every passing second. The darkness behind the tape wasn't just physical anymore. It had crept inside my head. At some point, I stopped trying to struggle. I just waited. Waited for death. Waited for them to come back. Waited for something, anything, to end it. But instead, I heard something else. A distant engine. At first, I thought it was them. My heart started pounding again, panic flooding through me. I tried to move, to scream, but my voice came out weak, broken. The sound grew louder, closer. Then, a door slammed somewhere nearby. Footsteps. Different footsteps. Hey, what the hell? A new voice, confused, alarmed. Hands grabbed me, but this time, not violently. The tape was ripped from my eyes, and blinding light flooded in. I squinted, gasping as the world slowly came back into focus. A farmer stood over me, his face filled with shock. "Jesus, what happened to you?" I couldn't answer. I just started crying. It had been almost 24 hours. That's how long they left me there, tied up, blindfolded, alone. If that man hadn't driven down that road, I might not be here. What followed should have been relief, but it wasn't. It was something else entirely. My phone had over 50 missed calls. My parents had already reported me missing. Police showed up, questions were asked. Too many questions. But I didn't say a word. Not about the men, not about the guns,
not about the execution, because I knew something they didn't. Those men had my ID. They knew who I was, and if I talked, they would know. The police officer kept pressing me. What happened out there? I just shook my head. Nothing. That was the lie I chose to live with, because the truth would follow me home. And it did. My parents could see it in my eyes, the fear, the silence, the way I flinched at every unknown sound. They didn't need the full story to understand. Something had changed. Something was wrong. We moved not long after that, left everything behind. New house, new city, new life. But no matter how far I go, I can't escape that road. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear it. Click. That empty, hollow sound. And I wonder, what if there had been a bullet? What if they hadn't been joking? What if next time they won't be? Because the scariest part isn't what happened that day. It's knowing there are people out there who can decide whether you live or die over a mistake as small as a wrong turn.
Before we get into the story, a quick question. Are you completely alone now? Did you turn off the lights in the house? Did your body shiver unknowingly? Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. If you're ready to dive into today's sea of fear, then subscribe to the channel to become a member of our family now and stay tuned by following. Let's start today's gotcha incident. A few years ago, I went elk hunting with my brother deep in the frozen wilderness of Alberta, Canada. It was the kind of place where silence isn't peaceful, it's watching you. That morning, my hunting partner, Paul, and I set out toward the Simonette River. Fresh snow had fallen overnight, covering everything in a thick white blanket. It looked beautiful, untouched, but beauty in the wild is often a lie. I carried the rifle. Paul didn't. He didn't have a big game license at the time, which meant if anything went wrong, we were already at a disadvantage. And in that part of Alberta, things always go wrong. Before heading out, we stopped at a ranger station. The ranger there gave us a warning that still echoes in my mind. There's a grizzly in the area, he said. Not might be, not could be. There was one. He told us it had been spotted multiple times over the past few weeks. He even pointed out certain trails we should avoid, areas believed to be within the bear's territory. We nodded, pretending to feel reassured, but deep down, we both knew. You don't avoid a grizzly decides whether it avoids you. We'd been hiking for about an hour. The snow made everything harder, every step heavier, every path harder to recognize. Trails that should have been obvious were now buried beneath layers of white silence. That's when we both realized it. We had taken a wrong turn. Again, a wrong turn. Funny how something so small can lead you somewhere you were never meant to be. We decided to head back toward the truck, trying to retrace our steps. But the deeper we walked, the less familiar everything looked. Then, we saw the tracks. Fresh, clear, cutting through the snow like scars. Wolves. Paul stopped. Not good, he muttered. I nodded slowly. Wolves usually avoid humans, but their presence meant something else. Something worse. We kept moving. Quietly now. Carefully. Every sound felt amplified. The crunch of snow beneath our boots, the slow rhythm of our breathing. Then, we saw it. A carcass, lying in the snow, half hidden, barely touched. And that was the problem. There were no crows, no scavengers, no signs of decay. Just silence. In the wild, that only means one thing. Something was still nearby, watching, waiting, claiming it. A low sound echoed through the trees, deep, vibrating, not loud, but powerful. I couldn't see where it was coming from. A massive spruce tree blocked my view. I slowly raised my rifle. my hands tightening around it. Paul took a step back. Then suddenly, he screamed, "Grizzly!" Everything exploded in emotion. From behind the trees, it burst out, a massive wall of fur, muscle, and raw fury charging straight at him. If you've never seen a grizzly charge, you can't imagine it. Something that big shouldn't be that fast, but it was. And in that moment, we weren't hunters anymore. We were prey.
The grizzly came at Paul like a living avalanche. Fast, silent, deadly. There was no time to think, no time to aim properly, only time to react. I swung my rifle up and fired from the hip. Bang! The shot echoed through the forest like thunder. But the bear didn't stop, didn't slow, didn't even flinch. It was like I had fired at a nightmare, something that couldn't be hurt. Paul barely managed to dive behind two tightly packed trees. The trunks stood just close enough together to block the bear's full body. The bear swiped at him, a massive claw slicing through the air, missing him by inches. If that hit had connected, he wouldn't have survived, not even for a second. The bear circled the trees, frustrated. Then it turned toward me, and that's when I realized I was next. I tried to reload, but my hands were shaking too much. The cold, the fear, the adrenaline, it all mixed into something uncontrollable. The bear charged again, this time at me. Every instinct screamed to run, but I knew better. You don't outrun something built to kill you. It closed the distance in seconds. I fired again. Bang! This time I hit it. I saw it. A burst of dark blood spraying into the snow as the bullet tore into its shoulder. But still, it didn't stop. It didn't even hesitate. That's when the real terror hit me. This thing wasn't just attacking, it was committed. I stumbled backward, slipping on the snow, falling hard onto my back. The sky spun above me, white, endless, cold. Then, the bear was on me. It swung its paw. I rolled just in time, feeling the rush of air as its claws tore through where my head had been. I tried to crawl back, kicking against the snow, desperate for distance, but there was none. There would never be enough distance. The bear raised itself slightly, and then it opened its mouth, wide, too wide. Rows of teeth, yellowed and massive, dripping with saliva. That's when I understood. It wasn't trying to swipe me anymore. It was going to bite, to crush, to end it. Everything slowed down. Time stretched. And in that split second, instinct took over. I didn't think, I didn't plan, I just acted. I shoved the rifle forward, straight into its open mouth. I didn't think, I didn't hesitate. I just shoved the rifle straight into the bear's open mouth. And it worked. For a second. The grizzly clamped down instantly. Its jaws snapped shut around the barrel with a sickening crunch. I heard metal grind, and something else. A sharp, brittle crack. Its teeth. It bit down so hard that it actually fractured them against the steel. But that didn't stop it. Nothing could. The force of its bite drove the rifle backward, slamming the butt into my chest. The impact knocked the air out of me, leaving me gasping, helpless beneath its weight. Its breath hit me next. Hot, rotting, thick with the smell of death. I could see into its eyes now, and there was nothing there. No fear, no hesitation, no mercy, just hunger. It pushed harder, trying to crush the rifle, and me with it. My hands were slipping, my arms were shaking. I could feel my strength fading fast. This was it. I wasn't going to get another chance. Then something shifted. The angle of the rifle, the pressure, the way the bear leaned forward. It gave me just enough leverage. My training, what little I had, kicked in. Without thinking, I twisted the bolt, reloaded. The sound was small, but in that moment it felt louder than a gunshot. The bear growled deep and furious, its jaws still clamped around the barrel. I didn't aim. I couldn't. The muzzle was already inside its mouth, so I pulled the trigger. Bang! The world went silent. For a split second, nothing moved. Then, the bear went completely limp. Its massive body collapsed to the side.
hitting the snow with a heavy final thud. I lay there, frozen beneath the weight of what had just happened. My ears rang, my chest burned, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Paul's voice broke through the silence. Hey, are you okay?" I couldn't answer, not yet. I just stared at the bear, at the thing that almost killed me, at the thing I had just killed. The entire attack had lasted maybe 20, 30 seconds, but it felt like an eternity, a nightmare stretched across time. And yet, the fear didn't leave, not completely, because as I lay there in the snow staring at that massive, lifeless body, something darker, something heavier began to grow inside me. Not relief, not victory, regret. The forest went silent again. But this time, it wasn't the same silence. It wasn't watching. It was empty. I slowly pushed myself up from the snow, my entire body trembling. My hands were still locked around the rifle, even though the danger was already over. Paul rushed toward me. "Are you hurt?" I shook my head, but that wasn't entirely true. I wasn't bleeding, I wasn't broken, but something inside me had definitely changed. We both stood there staring at the bear. Up close, it looked even bigger, even more powerful, even more real. Its fur was thick and matted with blood. Its massive body lay still in the snow like a fallen giant. Just moments ago, it had been alive, dominant, unstoppable. Now, it was nothing. "I thought you were dead," Paul said quietly. I didn't respond, because honestly, so did I. We didn't celebrate. There was no victory, no excitement, just a heavy, suffocating silence pressing down on us. After a while, Paul finally spoke again. "We should report this, call it in." I nodded slowly. "That's what you're supposed to do. That's what responsible hunters do." But as I looked at the bear again, something twisted inside my chest, because the truth was, it didn't feel like hunting. It felt like something else, something raw, something ancient. Out there, none of the rules mattered. Not laws, not licenses, not even morality. Out there, it's simple. You or it. The ranger's warning echoed in my mind. There's a grizzly in the area. He was right. But what he didn't say was this: you don't just encounter a grizzly. You enter its world. And in that world, you don't get second chances. We made it back eventually. Alive. Lucky. But I left something behind in that forest. Something I can't get back. Sometimes at night, I still see it. The moment its jaws opened, the darkness inside its mouth, the feeling of staring directly into death and forcing it back. People think nature is peaceful, beautiful, calm. They're wrong. Nature is indifferent. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what you believe. It doesn't care if you live or die. And once you've seen that truth, really seen it, it never leaves you. Because somewhere out there, in the endless white silence, there's always something hungry, watching, waiting.
Are you sitting alone in the dark listening? Is your body getting cold? Then stay with us. If you are new, subscribe or follow now and press the bell icon, because you could be the next victim of our world of fear. Let's get started.
A few years ago, my life was completely out of control. Not in a dramatic way, not loud, not obvious, just slowly falling apart. I had a brutal routine. Wake up before sunrise for school, rush through classes half awake, then head straight to my part-time job, working until 10, sometimes 11 at night. Day after day, week after week, for almost 3 months, I barely slept. Maybe 4, 5 hours a night if I was lucky. At first, I thought I could handle it. Everyone does, right? You push through, you ignore it, you tell yourself you're fine. But I wasn't fine, not even close. It started small. Forgetting things, losing focus, zoning out mid-conversation. Then it got worse, way worse. My reactions slowed, my thoughts became foggy. It felt like my brain was lagging, like I was living a few seconds behind reality. I should have stopped driving. I know that now, but back then, I didn't realize how dangerous I'd become. That night felt like any other. I was driving home after work, exhausted, barely holding myself together. The road was familiar. I had driven it hundreds of times before. It should have been easy, automatic, but my mind wasn't there. I remember blinking, just once, maybe twice, and in that tiny moment, something changed. I made a wrong turn. It didn't feel like a big deal at first, just a small mistake. I could fix it, turn around, get back on track. But this wasn't a normal road. It was a one-way street, and I was going the wrong direction. By the time I realized it, it was already too late. Headlights appeared ahead of me, fast, too fast. A motorcycle coming straight at me. There was no time to react, no time to swerve, no time to think. The impact was instant, violent, unavoidable. And in that single moment, everything changed forever.
The collision happened in less than a second, but in my mind, it still plays in slow motion. The motorcycle slammed into the front of my car. The sound, I'll never forget it. Metal crushing, glass exploding, a force so violent it felt unreal. And then, something came through the windshield. I won't describe it in detail, but I knew immediately this wasn't just an accident anymore. This was something far worse. I screamed, loud, uncontrollable, my hands locked on the steering wheel as if letting go would make everything even more real. The car rolled to a stop, and for a moment, there was silence. Then, a sound, weak, broken. He was still alive. I couldn't believe it. After everything that just happened, he was still alive. I could hear him struggling, trying to breathe, trying to hold on. That sound, it stayed with me. It still does. I didn't move at first. I couldn't. My body refused to respond. My brain was screaming at me to do something, call for help, get out, help him. But I was frozen. Finally, I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and called emergency services. My voice didn't even sound like mine. I don't remember what I said, only that I kept repeating, "Please hurry, please hurry." Minutes felt like hours. I sat there, trapped between reality and shock, listening to those faint, fading sounds, hoping, desperately hoping he would survive. But deep down, I already knew. When the sirens finally arrived, everything became a blur. People shouting, doors opening, footsteps rushing. They pulled me out of the car, sat me down somewhere, asked questions, important questions. I couldn't answer any of them. All I could think was, this is my fault. Later, at the hospital, I got the news. He didn't make it. The words didn't hit me right away. They just existed, floating somewhere outside my understanding. But when they finally sank in, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. Because of one mistake, 1 second, one wrong turn, a life was gone.
The days after the accident didn't feel real. Everything moved, but I didn't. People talked to me. Police officers, doctors, my parents. I heard their voices, but it was like they were coming from far away, buried under layers of fog. What happened? That question kept coming back, over and over. I told them the truth. I made a wrong turn. I was exhausted. I didn't react in time. That was it. No excuses, no lies. But even as I said it, it didn't feel like enough. Because how do you explain something like that? How do you explain that a normal night, a routine drive, can turn into something irreversible? The police investigated everything. The road, the bike, the situation. And slowly, the picture became clearer. The rider had been speeding, going far above the limit, no helmet, and the motorcycle, stolen. People told me that mattered, that it changed things, that it wasn't all my fault. But my mind didn't accept that, because none of those details erased the truth. I had turned into that road. I had been there. I had been part of that moment, and now someone was gone. The legal side came next. I thought my life was over. I was sure I'd be going to prison. I even told myself, maybe I deserve it. But the charges never came. The case didn't move forward. From a legal standpoint, it wasn't enough to convict me. That should have been relief, but it wasn't. Because there's a difference between being legally innocent and feeling personally responsible. Then came something harder. The writer's family. His mother tried to file a civil case, not just for money, but for something deeper, something emotional. I understood it, even if it hurt. She had lost her son, and I was the last person connected to him. I tried to offer help, to cover the funeral, to do something, anything, but nothing could make it right. Eventually, the case was dismissed, because of the circumstances, because of the facts. But even after everything ended, it didn't end for me. Because some things don't stay in courtrooms. They stay in your mind.
Life moved on. At least, that's what it looked like from the outside. I went back to my routine. School, work, driving. But nothing felt the same. Every time I sat behind the wheel, my hands hesitated. My mind replayed that night. Not the impact, not the sound, but the moment before it. The wrong turn. That tiny decision, that single second where everything could have gone differently. If I had stayed focused, if I had slept more, if I had just paid attention, maybe none of it would have happened. That's the part that stays with you. Not the noise, not the chaos, but the what-ifs. I started going to therapy. At first, I didn't want to. I thought I could handle it alone. I couldn't, because memories don't just disappear. They wait, quietly, then come back when you least expect them. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's when I see headlights coming toward me. Sometimes it's when I take a turn I've taken 100 times before, and suddenly I'm not sure if it's the right one. People around me say, it wasn't fully your fault. You couldn't control everything. You survived. But survival isn't always relief. Sometimes it's responsibility. Because I got to keep going, and he didn't. That truth doesn't scream. It whispers every day. And I've learned something since then. Something I wish I understood earlier. Danger doesn't always come from darkness or strangers or obvious threats. Sometimes it comes from something as simple as being tired, distracted, human. A small mistake, a quiet moment, a single wrong turn. And just like that, everything changes. Because some roads don't just lead you somewhere, they take something from you. And no matter how far you go afterward, you never really leave them behind.
Tonight's chilling incident ends here. But remember, just because the story is over doesn't mean the mystery is. What daylight hides, darkness keeps alive, and that darkness is closer to you than you think. If you want to stay connected to this world of shadows, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now and press the bell icon. Also, follow our Facebook page so you don't miss any strange or thrilling katana. If you're new here, become a part of our God Chomchom family, if you dare. Every subscription and every follow inspires us to uncover even more terrifying truths. We'll see you again in the next video. Goodbye for now, but try to sleep carefully tonight, because who knows, are the shadows around you really still, or is something happening without you even noticing?